Hi, this is David McCann for WebTNG. This video is part of a series on custom post types and theme builders. Earlier in the year, I compiled a list of many of the different ways to build custom post types and to display their content. But in this video, I want to look at the Custom Post Type UI plugin and the Advanced Custom Fields plugin. These two plugins are a very popular combination for creating custom post types and for adding fields to them. Why is this combination so popular? CPT UI is free and does everything you need to create custom post types and taxonomies. CPT UI is pretty basic and there's not a lot of documentation, but it's also pretty straightforward. Advanced Custom Fields has a free version with all of the basic field types. ACF Pro, which adds some advanced features, is nicely priced at $100 for lifetime unlimited sites. ACF support is excellent, and there are a large number of third-party add-ons, though you likely won't need any. ACF is also widely supported. ACF fields are supported by all of the major page builders that have support for dynamic data, that is, pulling the content dynamically from the database. Also, the professional versions of the major page builders now have a theme builder option that allows you to create single and archive templates for your custom post types, and all of them support advanced custom fields. In this tutorial, I'll do a walkthrough of CPT UI and ACF Free. I think you'll see it's pretty easy and straightforward. In this video, we'll create the custom post type that'll be used in the later theme building videos. Custom Post Type UI is a free plugin available in the WordPress plugin directory. As you can see, it has more than 700,000 active installs and a large number of 5-star reviews. Advanced Custom Fields has a free version that's also available in the WordPress plugin directory. It has more than 1 million active installs. Here I have a test website using the Page Builder Framework theme. I've installed a bunch of plugins, but right now just have the free version of Advanced Custom Fields and Custom Post Type UI activated. They each add a menu item to the admin interface. CPT UI is where we create our custom post type and custom taxonomies. This first menu item, this is where you create your custom post type. On the screen here, the first field is the slug. That's going to be part of the URL, the permalink URL. I'm calling mine book, plural. These are the labels, books and book. Then this section is labels, and these show up in different places in the menus. But the good news is that you can leave them all at their defaults. And the last section on this page is for settings. So do you want it to be public? Yes. Do you want them to be able to see it on the front end? Yes. Do you want to show it in the UI? That's here. Yes. Do you want to allow the custom post type to be in the navigation menus? Yes. Use with the REST API? Yes. And then these are here. They would be for some advanced use with the REST API. Has archive. This one is a little curious because it's set to false by default, and I think most people will probably want to have an archive. Exclude from search, no, we want it in the search. Then this capability type, this is for checking permissions, and so right here where it says post, that means the same role permissions for adding and editing and deleting and publishing posts will be applied to the post type, so it's kind of using the same structure there. Hierarchical, this is whether or not it's like posts or pages. With pages you can nest the pages under each other, and so you would make this true if you wanted to do that. Here you can have a custom slug, and yes, we want it added into the permalink structure. And then this one here, menu position, that's where you want it to show up here. The article in the WordPress Codex explains what the options are with the menu position. So I usually go with 20 for below pages, but there are these other options here. You can see it's a little bit trial and error. I'll put 20 in there. Show in menu, yes. And then the icon, WordPress has some icons built in called dash icons. And so we need to get the class for the icon we want to use. Again, there is a Codex article that lists these. And so basically what you do is you go down the list and you find the closest or best one to fit your purpose. So here I see they have a book icon. So you click it, and then you grab this right here, which is the class name, and you paste that in there. The alternative is you can supply your own image. Then this section is for what features you want to have associated with your custom post type. So I would like to have author and revisions, for instance. Now, custom fields, we're using advanced custom fields, so we don't need to check this. But WordPress has a very limited type of custom field that you can use. It's just kind of a text field. Advanced custom fields is much more capable. And then if your theme supports some of these things, you could have those as well. Finally, there are some plugins and themes that have custom features, and you can declare support for those, but we don't have any of those. And then you can assign a taxonomy to it. Categories are hierarchical and tags are flat. These are just like you have for posts here, categories and tags. In the next section here, we'll actually create a taxonomy. Anyway, so we save this, and once you save it, you get some extra menu items here. And so edit post types. This is if you want to change some of the settings that we just made, you can do that here. If you have more than one, then you can select it in the drop down. You want to be real careful about changing the slug because that's how the items are linked together. If you do change the slug, there's this option here, migrate posts to the newly renamed post type, and this only works the first time right when you change it and hit save. If you come back and try to migrate it, it won't work. So something to remember and keep in mind. And then these two are actually just links to these things here. Next we come to taxonomies. A taxonomy is a way of grouping together things that are similar or alike. And so for my book custom post type, I'm going to create a taxonomy called genre. And notice here now you attach it to a post type, and you can attach it to more than one, but I just want to attach it to books. And if I wanted to, I could create another taxonomy called audiences. For example, if I wanted to segment the books by age groups, again, we get a long list of labels, which we can leave at their defaults, and then a settings section. Most of this is pretty straightforward. Hierarchical means that it's going to be like categories, and that's what I want for this. I'm not actually going to nest, but I like the drop down and ordering instead of the flat tags. Yes, I want to show it here, and I want to show it in the menu and in the nav menus. And then rewrite hierarchical, that would be if you wanted to have the parent term and then the child term in the URL, which I don't want to have. And this is a real interesting one. And this is to show the taxonomy in the admin column. And I'll show you what that means, but basically when you look at the list of all the books, there'll be a column there for the genre, so I want to make that true. And then show in REST API, true. And these REST API options here, and in creating the post type, you'll need those for Gutenberg if you're going to use it with Gutenberg. And then I also like to add these to the quick edit panel, and I'll show that as well. So we add the taxonomy. When we do, again, we get some more menus here. This is where you edit, just like with the custom post types, if you needed to make a change. And these two jump to these here. So let's actually take a look at these here. This is just a list of information, but this one's interesting. If you had another site where you wanted to have a book custom post type, you would copy all this out, and you could install CPT UI and paste it in there and import it to so you wouldn't have to go through all the steps again. Same with taxonomies, you can do the same thing. And then get code. You'll notice that there is a box for all post types and one by one. And the same down here for taxonomies, there's all or just the one genre. And so this code, you can actually take this code and you can paste it into your child themes functions PHP file. Or if you use the code snippets plugin, you can create a snippet and paste this code in there. Or you could create your own plugin. And the reason you would do that is if you wanted then to get rid of this plugin, CPT UI, you wouldn't need it anymore. And so I think that's really nice. They give you a way to add it to your child theme or to a snippet or a plugin, so you're not dependent on their plugin on the CPT UI. It's a nice developer touch. And this menu item has some facts, FAQs, and some links out to their premium extension or to the support forum. And so that's CPT UI. Let's go ahead and take a look at the book item here. We'll see we have the title, the content, and the featured image, and we have our genres, but we don't have any custom fields. And I'd like to add some information about the books. And so this is where then we'll go to use advanced custom fields. And when you add advanced custom fields, you get this menu item, and we're going to do add new. So a field group is a grouping of fields, and you give it a name. So mine is going to be book fields, and you select where you want it to show. So I want these fields to show on the books custom post type. And then you get a list of settings here, and you can deactivate it. You can have a standard meta box, or you can have them just the custom fields listed individually on the page. You can select the position where you'd like the meta box to show. This, for example, is a meta box. And then you have some alignment and placement options. And then this is just a convenience. It will hide these things on your custom post type. If you check them, you don't have to. And then you add a field. So you see when you click the Add Field button, you get a dialog where you can enter the variables. So my first field is going to be author's website. And I want that to be a URL field. And did you see that there? There's a long list of field types here that come with the free version of Advanced Custom Fields. There's a text field, which is like this, a single text field. There's a text area, which is a multi-line text field, a number, a range, so like 1 to 10, email, URL, password field, image field, file for file upload, a WYSIWYG editor like you have in the classic editor, an embed field, a select drop-down box, checkbox, radio button, button group, a true false, a link field, which is different than a URL, so that would be linking to another, say, poster page. There's a post object. You can create a relation between a custom post type and the post object, which would mean it would have programmatically the fields. A page link, a relationship, and this would be maybe one-to-many or one-way relationship, such as if I were to create another custom post type called author information, then I could have a relationship between the books and the authors, or a link to taxonomy, or a link to the user object, and this is pretty powerful. Then you have a Google map, a date picker, a date time picker, a time picker, or a color picker. And then these are for layout, for grouping the items together. You can do it in accordion or tab or group. This is maybe a good place to do a quick comparison of ACF Free and ACF Pro. Here from the Advanced Custom Fields website, they have a list of all of the field types, and I've highlighted in red here the 4 that are Pro only. So you can see we're getting most of the field types in the free version. There are 4 that are Pro only: gallery, clone, repeater, and flexible content. If we look at their list of Pro features on their website, the first Pro feature here is the repeater field, which is very popular and very cool. You can see in their example they have a photo and a label and a link, and you can add another row. So you can have groups of fields together inside a repeater. A good example of a place to use this might be a restaurant menu where you have entrees, and the entree might have a title, a description, and a price. If you didn't have something like the repeater field, then you would need to know in advance how many entrees you were going to have, and you'd have to add those fields for each entree ahead of time. But with the repeater field, you can just add as many as you need. Another feature that's new is Advanced Custom Field Blocks. This lets you use advanced custom fields and PHP to make Gutenberg blocks. And it's a lot easier to do this than it is to learn React.js and make Gutenberg blocks that way. The flexible content field is a layout helper, and it lets you group fields and order them. And this makes it more organized and easier to enter content on the back end. With advanced custom fields, you can create option pages, just like most plugins have, where you have settings and you can use advanced custom fields to create that, which is a nice thing. Then there's the gallery field, and instead of having to add images one by one, you can just add as many as you want at one time and display them as a gallery. The clone field allows you to use existing field groups in other areas. So the example they have here is you have a button field group where you have the link, the style, the color, and the fill color, and the text color. And so you could use that in multiple custom post types and in multiple places. For example, maybe in one custom post type, you would have a button to go to the author's website and another button to go to Amazon to buy the book there. So anyway, those are the Pro features of advanced custom fields. And I just wanted to show you those real quickly. Now let's get back to finishing up creating the book custom post type. So back to adding fields. My first one is going to be a URL field. You can add some information here. You can make it required. You can have a default value, some placeholder text that shows up there, conditional logic on when to show it. So for example, show this field if some other website field equals whatever. So you see you can have some rules about when to show it. And then this is just for display and for styling possibly. So we've added author website, and then I'm going to add another field for author's photo. And here we will have it be an image. And this here you can return just a link to the image or the image array. And the image array has information about the image in the media library, so like the different sizes or whatever. And you have some, again, styling and whatnot. You can limit the file types that are allowed and have conditional logic. So when you're done with all that, you click Publish. One thing you'll see here is that you can reorder the fields if you want to. You can change the rules or the settings for the field group. So now let's go take a look at a new book, and we'll see we have the title, the content, featured image, but we also have our 2 new fields, the author's website and the author's photos, where we can add an image. So I added 5 book records. You can see we have our genres showing in the list of books, and if we click on Quick Edit, we can change the genre here. Let's look at one of these on the front end. Here's the title, the book, the post content, but our custom fields don't show. And this is perhaps the biggest anti-feature that WordPress has, and that is that fields associated with a post are not output automatically when you view them. And as a consequence, you need to do some theming. And traditionally, you would create PHP templates. But these days, all of the major pro versions of page builders have a theme builder in them, which we can use to output and show these custom fields. It used to be a major pain to output your custom post types and their custom fields for the front end for people to see them. You had to create PHP templates from scratch. Then Toolset came along, which gave the site builder a lot of power and control over creating templates. But a lot of people feel that Toolset is very complex. And the fact is, Toolset is very powerful, and it is complex. But it can cover a lot of edge cases needed for advanced sites. These days, with the theme builder functionality built into page builders, the once painful task is now easy. And many sites can get by just using the theming features of their page builder, and you don't need to create PHP templates by hand or navigate toolset complexity. As mentioned in the introduction to this tutorial, advanced custom fields is supported by all of the popular page builders. So I invite you to check out the next parts of this series where I create the single and archive templates using the most popular page builders. That's it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching.